Hey YouTube, got another video coming at you. This one today is going to be about fish tank problems, specifically hair algae and other types of algae. There are a lot of different varieties, as well as I guess a brief touch on dino, because I did have that for a time. My tank was in complete disrepair at a point. Algae growing all over everything. I call this zoa rock. It used to have a lot more zoas on it. It had a huge hair algae outbreak, completely covering the whole rock. I had it on the stem of that leather coral, all over this tree looking rock, a lot of it in this larger center rock here as well, and some on, it was on everything. It was on everything. It was everywhere. So what I did to solve that problem, I did a lot of different things, but I'm going to talk about, some of the main things that I think were vital, that definitely helped. So one of the things that I did initially, anywhere where you don't see coral at, I took, if you can see back there, there's epoxy back there, and I made like a sheet of it, and I would cover the segment and kill the algae by blocking out the light and starving it of nutrients, sealing it basically. This worked in segments where I could block it out. I'd leave it closed off for 7 days, and then I'd pull the piece off and it would kill all the algae. I specifically did it for this rock because it's so big and it's so invested in the ground. If you try to pull this out, you're going to make a dust cloud of all kinds of nasty stuff that's under the sediment that you really don't want mixing up into your tank. So obviously hand removal is a big thing too. Before I would even put that sheet down, I would pick as much as I could by hand and then stick that down there. When it's on corals like that or on their skeletal material, it's very hard to deal with. I just kind of pick it and then I let the inverts do their job. There's a lot of different, I have snails, I have that Blenny does a little bit of algae eating. These snails do a lot of work though. If you can see, he's actually eating that algae right now, around that coral, around those zoanthids. And then if I can find him in here, I got a crab from a friend of mine called a Halloween crab. He's in the back there. But yeah, Halloween crab, I've witnessed him actually eating algae. Specifically this stuff and this stuff, this darker stuff. This stuff is a lighter. I'm not sure the names of any of these. Also touching on the dino, I had dino on this coral before it grew hair algae on it. It was all over its skeleton and it was starting to kill the coral. And what I actually did, I had this hair algae everywhere else at the time, including on my coral up here that is part of the duckbill for the sump return. I did a blackout. I shut the lights off for 5 to 7 days, including the refugium down here. It has a night light cycle, and I had that shut off as well. And that killed the dino immediately. It also hurt the algae a lot. And before I would shut the lights off again, pick as much as you can, get as much of it out as possible, with hand removal, and then shut the lights off. I've added a lot of inverts, and I think that has done a great deal of, removing this algae. The other thing I do, and they recommend it on a lot of places online, is I use this Vibrant product. I don't really use any other chemicals other than this, and it does a great job of assisting in the removal. It keeps the algae looking not so great. It just makes the algae look like it's a little looser, a little thinner, and easier, I guess, for them to chew on and me to remove. The other thing that I would do, when possible, is during a water change, and keep up on your water changes, obviously. Once a week you want to be doing a water change if you've got some kind of problem like this and you're not sure what's going on. Furthermore, I would take I don't know if you saw, Blenny was just eating some of that algae there. I'd take rocks like this out of the tank during a water change. I'd put it in a bucket and I'd take a toothbrush to it and I would scrub it. And I've even scrubbed some corals, depending on what they are. The green star polyp there and the one up here on the duckbill got taken out and scrubbed. This was covered as well. And it is since taken back over and it is thriving. There is still algae growing on it. It's a small amount. It's not like it was. Nothing's growing back like it was, it seems. So I'll post an update in a little while of how everything's doing, but I think I touched base on all of the things that, I think that I did in order to try and remove this, adding inverts and stuff, keeping organisms like the Blenny who are going to, do stuff, physical removal, sheeting with epoxy, the Vibrant and the Blackout. I've done 2 blackouts at this point. One was 5 days and one was 7 days, and I spaced them apart because the corals all shrunk when I blacked out, but most of them survived the blackout. I lost 1 or 2. You may lose more. Just try to keep up on, everything else while the blackout is going on. And really, I'm talking blackout, I mean like I can shut this door and that window's shut over here, so this room is darkness. There is no light in here when I was doing the blackouts. If I was opening this door, you could see sunlight coming in, and some of the parts over here are where I still have some algae that seems like it hung on, and it may be because it got some sunlight, whereas the rest of the tank, really didn't. So that's pretty much it. If you do have it on corals like this, you got to kind of let the inverts do their job and hope that you can win. If it's on, I don't know if you can see, but I have where are we at here? I have an A-can right here that it is a little bit on the side of it here. Yeah, you can see it right there. So I'm going to physically remove that, and where it is sprouting from, I'm going to put a little bit of gel glue on that, some super glue. And that will also kill it, obviously sealing it in there, and that will save the coral. If you don't catch it soon enough and you can't do it out of the water, obviously it becomes pretty difficult. The super glue hardens around the outside right when you put it in, so there's no luck in doing that to an established coral like that, or like this guy who's grown onto the rock, obviously. But that's pretty much it, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. I think I bought that Vibrant on Amazon. Thanks for watching.